As I grow older, I spend a lot of time thinking about the good old days, the memories that kind of make me. And I got a lot of regrets as well about some of the things I did that weren't so nice. I was kind of mean, kind of did some very questionable things in the service of being friends with folks. And I spent a lot of time at a place called Chastain Park in Atlanta. It's pretty notorious. It was directly across the street from my school, and 9 days out of 10 days, I was not at school. I was at Chastain Park. They had frisbee golf, they had a golf course, there was a private school there with lots of people in their little uniforms going to class, a golf house at the golf course where we could buy snacks, lots of woods, frisbee golf that went through the woods. And it was generally a great place to be a teenager, get stoned, spend a lot of time just goofing off and doing what kids do in the parks in the big city. And that's what we were doing. And this day, it was myself, my compatriots Jimmy, who was Greek and well known around town. There was Steve-O, who was a scrappy little fella. And occasionally we had Rodney, who tagged along as well. More about Rodney one day. On this particular day, though, we were at Chastain, and they had stables. And at the stables, they had a number of tack rooms in a horse ring where they did training. There was a tack room building that was set off away from the stables and kind of off on its own near the woods. But it was also on one side right at the corner of the main road. Sitting on top of that tack house was one of our favorite things to do. It was great to get up there and get stoned and smoke cigarettes and tell jokes and do what adolescent guys do when they're hanging out. And we spent an awful lot of time running from the local cop. He was a great guy. And he was always very kind to us and made us throw away our weed instead of taking us to jail. And we kind of had an ongoing relationship with him. So this particular day, we knew the cops were in the neighborhood. We knew they were around, and we were hiding on top of this building and saw a police car from our elevated position. That being the case, we felt it was impervious. As we thought we might have been, we felt it was a good idea to get out of there. So we tossed our cigarette butts and we ran away into our little hiding spots up in the woods so the cops couldn't see us. Key words being we threw down our cigarettes, and as we ran away, I laughingly made the joke, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if all that pine straw caught on fire and burned the building down?" And wouldn't you know, about 2 hours later, as we crossed through the park, we went back through that area, and there were fire trucks and police, and all the kids had been released from both the private and the public school. And so there were kids everywhere, and we had indeed burned down the tack room. No one was hurt, no animals were hurt, no property was really burned other than the building itself, which apparently, based on the plans later, were scheduled to be torn down as well anyway. So that was one of our experiences at Chastain Park. I'm sure we'll share more, and I hope you enjoyed this crazy tale of Jack, Jimmy, and myself with Steve-O at Chastain Park.